After 3 long years of waiting, Kingdom Hearts 2 for the PS2 was released in Japan at the end of 2005, and made its way everywhere else the following year. While game critics loved it immediately, considering it an improvement over the original, casual and hardcore fans alike were more divided. This was a pretty controversial sequel for a good while. But as the game has aged, it seems like this is no longer the case, and the game has only become more and more beloved. As someone who loved it from the start, I too have found that love growing as the years have gone by, and I've revisited it from time to time. I should start by talking about the story. After awakening from their year-long sleep, Sora, Donald, and Goofy find that things have changed in the universe in their absence. While their apocalyptic invasion and destruction of worlds has stopped, the Heartless are still plentiful and trying to devour people's hearts. Even worse, there's a new enemy called the Nobodies at large, commanded by Organization 13, and working toward a plan to acquire the power of Kingdom Hearts for themselves. And so our trio sets off on another journey to protect the worlds, find their still missing friends, and uncover what Organization 13 is planning and put a stop to it. This is a good story, full of all the excitement, twists and turns, emotional moments, and fun that you would want out of it. But how the story is told, well, that's a big part of what made this game so controversial for so long. First of all, there's a notorious prologue set in Twilight Town, where you play as another character named Roxas, who ends up having a special connection to Sora that even he is unaware. Not only is this prologue confusing to many people, especially those who didn't play Chain of Memories, and not only is it kind of boring with how slowly it moves along all while the player just really wants to get back in control of Sora, Donald, and Goofy, but it lasts the bare minimum of 3 hours, and then the title logo for the game appears. 3 hours, and only now is the game starting for real? Now, I personally don't have a problem with this prologue, but you can definitely see why so many people did and still do. Even afterwards, there are multiple problems with how the story is presented. The scriptwriter Kazushige Nojima and the event director Masaru Oka just don't do as good a job as Jun Akiyama did in both of those roles in the original, creating a lot of questionably executed moments, and oftentimes flat-out contradicting how certain things were portrayed in the first game. There are many Disney worlds, most of them needing to be visited twice within the game, but only half of them are linked to the main story and important in any way. The rest of them are just filler that you're just playing through for the sake of it, which is especially noticeable whenever they just recycle the plots of the movies they're based on. Perhaps worst of all, Tetsuya Nomura gets really convoluted and self-indulgent with this game's story. I said I would have liked more explanation behind some things in the first game, but this goes even further, when there's even more things that need explaining, or things are explained in such needless detail that they end up being even more confusing than they were before that exposition happened. It's a complete mess of a narrative, and it turned many people off the series right there and then. But with that said, I again feel the need to repeat that the story itself is good, no matter how much it gets botched in the telling of it. There are just as many great moments as there are lame moments, probably more. The Disney stuff is still mostly fun and well portrayed, you still care about the characters and are invested in their emotional conflicts. And I personally think that it has the strongest ending to not only a Kingdom Hearts game, but one of the strongest to any video game. The final level brings every important character and every dangling plot thread together perfectly. The final string of boss battles are beautifully designed, especially the actual final boss. And the ending actually fakes you out into thinking it's going to be a major cliffhanger, only to take a beautiful turn and provide a close-ended, happy conclusion not only to the story of this game, but to the entire trilogy of Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories, and Kingdom Hearts 2. This ending alone makes me experience all the feels every goddamn time, and it alone makes the story of this game a good one. It's best to look at this game's story differently from the original game's story. The original game's story was like a big, epic Disney movie. This game's story is like a big, epic Disney animated series, or anime series as is more appropriate. The stages of the game are more clearly episodic. Sometimes there's plot progression like with the worlds of Beauty and the Beast, Hercules, Steamboat Willie, Pirates of the Caribbean, and even freaking Tron. And other times there are filler episodes, like with the worlds of Mulan, Aladdin, The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Lion King, and The Little Mermaid. Oh god, does that last look bad in this game. Yet even those filler worlds still connect with one of the major themes of the game, the theme of reunion, as they all feature Sora, Donald, and Goofy catching up with old friends. Though overall, they are still a strong, satisfying experience to play. The music by Yoko Shinomura is as excellent as before, as is the quality and caliber of the voice acting. I mean, they got Christopher fucking Lee to play Diz, and it's as phenomenal as you would expect. In terms of gameplay, the system from the original game has been fine-tuned and polished, with the hack-and-slash combat now being faster, stronger, and much more of a spectacle than it was before. Some argue that all the new reaction command moves unleashed by the triangle button make the combat too easy, but I think that the game increases its difficulty with the enemy AI and even pace, so that it still remains a fair challenge, especially if you're playing on a higher difficulty. Add in limit breaks, drive forms, a new magic system, and much better gunship segments that now feel like Disney theme park rides instead of a bad Star Fox 64 clone, and you've got excellent gameplay all around. But I do have some mild criticism for the level design of this game. In the original, the levels were all full 3D environments where you could interact with everything and do a lot of exploring platform style. In this game, the levels are standard corridor-style environments like in all the 3D Final Fantasy games, where you're more boxed into a certain path. This does help with the combat, which this game is clearly prioritizing, and isn't a problem once you get used to it, but coming as someone who really likes the first game's level design, it is something of a disappointment. In 2007, the game got a special Final Mix edition just like the first game did, which was also internationally ported to the PS3 and PS4 for the KH3 collections years later. But unlike the first game, where the Final Mix version had some cool new things but otherwise wasn't that big an improvement, KH3's Final Mix is such an upgrade that it stands as the definitive version of the game. More combat abilities, such as the dodge roll, which was inexplicably left out in the original version. New challenges and collectibles added to the world, prolonging your exploration despite the combat-oriented level design. New scenes that actually fix parts of the story. New optional boss fight with the Organization 13 members who perished in Chain of Memories. Another optional boss fight with the strongest enemy in the game. An entire new dungeon where you put every skill you've learned to the test. A new secret ending video. A theater mode where you can play back any cutscene you want. It's fucking amazing! My only complaint, aside from the pointless recoloring of most of the Heartless, is that a few of the new scenes don't really work due to either placement, content, or both. It's not too big a problem considering you have the ability to skip scenes, but I still actually recommend that you play the original version of KH2 first in order to avoid the issue altogether, and also to get an appreciation of just how much the Final Mix version improves on everything else. But whatever the version, Kingdom Hearts 2 stands out as both a fantastic sequel and a fantastic video game. No amount of problematic story presentation, questionable level design choices, or over-reliance on the triangle button can change that. As I've said before, it's only become more and more adored as time has passed. But I think there's another reason for that as well. As will be seen with my other reviews, the Kingdom Hearts series never reached this kind of high ever again. This game was the end of its golden age, the end of the franchise's time as a mainstream darling with all the right talent behind it. And its story ended on such a perfect, uplifting note that there wasn't even really any need for future stories afterwards. Kingdom Hearts 2 was the crescendo of the series, and sadly enough, it will only be downhill from there.